Hi Ramesh, good morning. Am I audible? You guys? Yeah, fine. Yeah, sure. Let's start the session, right? Okay. So this is a day two, right? Day two of the series. What we are going to cover. Now, up to now, what we have covered in the day one is that let me add over there. We have discussed few of the points, right? What is a conventional way of software development, right? What the software development cycle was there. If you go over here, what we have discussed in the day one is that we are going with the waterfall, right? Waterfall concept. What were the waterfall concepts? What were the issues with like software team using, right? We're facing that they have to switch their methodology for agile methodology, right? This agile methodology is simple as that they break their application, right, software into multiple parts. Like they will design such a way that they can make this application into 5 parts, right? So each part contains, for example, 1 month, 1 month of development and delivery to the client. Okay, and whatever the issue they will be facing over here, they will revert back to the development team and they will fix this issue. This was the point of the first discussion. Then we have decided what DevOps tools, DevOps concepts, right? When we say DevOps, what is DevOps, right? So if I want to recall, right, this will be your first interview question possibly after your introduction. So whenever they ask you what is DevOps, so conventionally there is different definitions for that. The best is that it's a culture, right? It's a culture and collaboration that improve, right, quality and delivery of your product, right? This is the main thing when we are going to what DevOps. If they ask you the question in interview, you have to say it's a culture and the collapse that improves quality and the delivery of products, right? This we have discussed. This will be your first question in the interview, right? So when you go for this, they will ask you the second question. What is that? Why DevOps, right? So why DevOps was introduced? The issue was that where we were looking for the quality of the product. As I said, first thing comes to your mind when you're designing a product, okay, right? When you're creating the product in the initial stage, you have to the quality of the product, right? It should be rapid response, right? Rapid response in the sense I'm referring to, right, to fulfill the needs of the customer, right, in the sense need of client, whatever his need is there, end of the day we have to deal with the product. So that we will be achieved during the DevOps collaboration. Okay, so after that it will increase the team collaboration, right? This is also main point. This was lagging behind at the time starting before the DevOps, right? Collaboration with different team. Okay, and the second point is next point is the quality. As I say, we cannot compromise in the quality as we mentioned in the first point, right? Afterwards we will cost optimization is a part, right? After cost optimization, what we are going to do it, we will provide the time, right, time to marketing also, right? Marketing marketing for promotions. Okay, now these points, if I'm going to call as we discussed yesterday, right? So let's go and discuss these points. What do you mean by these points, right? See, the first thing what we have discussed is what is the agile methodology. If you want me to recall the discussion, right? We have already shared this document also with all the team members, right? If I go with day one, right? This was the waterfall methodology. In this, what happens before the concept was going like 10 years, like 10 to 15 years, right? The IT team organization were following for the software development, this methodology. It was facing a lot of issues in the sense is that there were the steps going over here. Like when you complete the first step, then only you'll go for the second step. Second step you complete, and you can go for the first step. After implementation, they used to go for the testing for the QA team, right? After deployment was completed, then the maintenance. In case of failure in any stage, it was difficult to revert back. The issue was that they were working on the complete product, as I mentioned over here, right? Here in the agile methodology, we are breaking the product into 5 to 10 parts based on the requirement, right? If, as before, they was going in the only one way. Okay, so after 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in case of any step failure, they have to revert back again. Then the lot of time, like let's say, as an example, I've given 10 months for my application, right? For the development my application, right? So usually we used to take example 1 month for this, like 3 months for this, 2 months for this, for example, right? 2 months for this. Okay. If case of failure, it will revert back again to the requirement analysis, right? Simply requirement analysis in the sense software SRS document, right? Software requirement and specification of the document of what application we are going to develop. Right? Okay, so this document, so again they will go and they will check if there is issue with system design, right? In the case of the code level, right? They'll go back over here, then again they will take 1 month to fix this, then you'll go implementation, then you'll go for the testing. So this was eliminated, right? It was overcome with the solution that we are going with the second step, right? Which is the current we are going with agile methodology, right? As I mentioned, there we are breaking the application into multiple parts, then we are working for the first multiple or first part as a sprint example. As I mentioned that, let's say I'm going to only deliver to you the part of the login page, right, of my application, for example. So in this case, the developer, the soft like gathering team will work, right? Who has defined, right? They will gather all the information from the client, what has to be done in this sprint. So they will give to the developer, right? To the developer, they will give these steps. Then the developer will make it. Then we will deploy as a as a DevOps engineer, we will deploy in dev environment, right? After dev environment is completed, the development, the QA guy who is working, right? Quality assurance guy, he will be testing everything, whatever the test cases based on development size has been given, and the same by the client side, right? Like referring to SRS document. Does this software what we have created for sprint one, does it standing that is valid respect of development side and SRS document? Do is check, right? Then it will be revert back, then it's proceed for the second step, right? So this was the method. In case of any failure, then we'll do everything as a DevOps engineer, automation, right? Automation is the main important through CI/CD pipeline, through monitoring tool and everything, right? This was the step. In case of, let's say they have 10 points to clear in first sprint, right? They're supposed to make this 10 sprint login page, forget password should be activated, email should be received to the client. Okay, then it should prompt the wrong password. Okay, it should stop on the browse attack of somebody want to try to access multiple, right? They should ban this person. So this all test cases should be fine. Let's say that out of 10 we have cleared in first set, the QA guys say that we have cleared 8 points, 2 points is lagging, right? And these 2 points are behind. So what happened after 1 month, what we have defined for the sprint one, these two backlogs, right, as a backlog will be added to sprint, and the existing of sprint 2 also will be added. So at the sprint 2 the developer should work on 10 features, okay? 10 features or the 10 design document as per the software document cycle, okay? So in this case, there is no backup going with the other method, that is not work on. You're only working on sprint. No, it's not possible. The defined part is approach from the CEO or the client, who is your highest hierarchy in your hierarchy organization, right? The manager. So this is how they try to achieve it. If in this case some 5 are missing out of 12, right? They have to 3, 5 will be added over here. Then this is sprint 320 will be existing, for example, right? They have to fix this 25 in this defined fine, and they have to deliver to the client. This is how the sprint was used, and the tool is going to use in the current scenario is always we are going with the Jira. Okay, this is a project management tool, and whatever the task you will be received using tickets. Okay, tickets will be issued to the concerned persons, the employees who are associated with these projects. Okay, second, every person in this organization, like related to this project, they will be working based on the tickets. Okay, they will be having one stand-up meeting daily in the organization, or you can call it scrum meeting based on the organization hierarchy, right? There we will discuss what you have executed based on your ticket, what are the pending ticket, what are completion ticket, okay, what you are facing issue. Okay, you have to collaborate with a different development team, QA team, right? Tester, UI graphics guy, right, who will design these pages and everything. We will fix everything. Okay, hope this is answered, right? You have any question related to this agile methodology? Is just any issues? You got my point? What is the concept behind this? Am I audible? Okay, 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 fine. Okay. So this part we already deliver, right? So how DevOps engineer is going to interact with this? Let's have a little briefing for 2 minutes. We'll go, right? So the DevOps engineer will be interacting between these two teams, right? Dev and operators. Now most of the cases overtaken by DevOps, right? The system admin was before for any like designing all your infrastructure, that is overtaken by DevOps engineer. So why DevOps engineer, right? So the concept is that before we start over from here, so the concept should know why DevOps is there in software development cycle, right? In any organization, in every project, you'll find a one DevOps guy associated with this project team. Okay, so in this case, why DevOps got why they got like importance into the software development cycle and why it was adopted and it was the boom. And if you find any salary compared to developers, right, they are have more salary compared to developers current scenario and highly demanded one of the role in IT industry. DevOps, before this concept was introduced, there was a one guy, one role was there, system admin, right? System admin. This was system admin. Let me add in the document also, and then I'll show you. Before this was introduced, there was multiple roles associated with the development, right? There was a system engineer, then there was a build and release engineer, right? Build and release, right? Build and release engineer. Then there was a server admin, right? Who is to look over all the over there. Then this associated with the monitoring, right? This was associated with let's say release, right? CI/CD or deployment. This was system engineer who was designing our infrastructure and maintaining, right? Designing and maintaining infrastructure. Okay. Then one more was let's say he was operations operation engineer. Before DevOps was introduced, there was a four roles which was in the IT industry, right? Related to related to development, right? There was a system admin who was responsible to create multiple like EC2 instance, VM creation, and everything, right? So if I go over here, if I give a simple, the system when the software was designed at that time, right? At that time there was a system admin, right, who is to design this everything, right? And let's say he say that okay, fine, we required a one VM virtual machine EC2 instance with so and so specification, let's say 16 GB memory, right? Then he will say that okay, we required RAM, right? See, as we discussed, RAM 16 GB is there. Let's say 6 core CPU, right? Virtual CPUs. Okay, and I required 100 GB of the storage. So this was taken by system administrator, right? Segment system engineer. Then afterward, there was one more role over. The role was to take all the code from the GitHub, whatever is designed, they needs to go and deploy, right? That was handled by build and release engineer, right? Build and release engineer. They used to take all the code is available of this from the source code management, right? Wherever you reside your code, right? Source code management. So let me recall again. Okay, the day one, what I have seen, if you check it over here, right? I think PPTs also is not visible to you. Okay, so that we missed the sign. Okay, anyways, let's go start with this one, right? In the day two, is my screen visible, right, to you guys? Okay. See, in the day one, what we have discussed is that what is waterfall? Okay, what is agile methodology, right? Waterfall, in the sense, it was a one shot, right? For example, one shot they used to create multiple steps, right? As I mentioned over here, I'll show you this, right? The required analysis has been done, right? They used to gather some information about the software, right? After that, they used to do design the system in the sense how much how you're going to create your infrastructure, everything, and the developer used to design how you're going to write the source code or what will be covered points, right? After the implementation, we used to get whenever of the failure of this one step, right? When failure of the one step used to revert back over again to back like this, right? The first way is to complete this part, then go for this part, then go for this part, then go for this part, then go first. In case of any failure of one step, it was very difficult to revert back to again to this point or to this point, right? This is associated with the development, okay? So development and the system design, okay? So failure of this, they will be revert back difficult. The reason is that if you have 10 months and you have made that 1 month for this and 4 months for these, 5 months, 2 months for the 1 month for this, right? Dividing on it. In case of sixth month, you got to know that this is failing our application, right? The information gathering were wrong. It was difficult to go to the one point. This is a waterfall, right? Whenever the waterfall from this step, it cannot revert back, right? When the water droplets form from any, if you go for any waterfall, you're able to find that it cannot go revert back, right? It's difficult to find. So this was facing issue in the initial state of the software development. Okay, so there was facing, there is a lot of issue. That's the reason that software is to take 2 years, 4 years for the delivery, right? If you go in the future, like five call back, like five, like let's say 5 to 10, now 15 years before, right? They used to say that if you want to design a software, yes, if you go for any company, they used to say that we will take at least 2 years to deliver, sir, right? So this was the main reason they were conventionally following the old tradition as waterfall methodology. Okay, so there was a lot of drawbacks over here. So that was fixed by new methodology, which is currently also being used. That is called as agile methodology. Okay, if you go for agile methodology, what they are doing, they are breaking our application into multiple parts. Okay, system sprint 4, sprint 5, 6, sprint 6. Right. In this case, you'll get every step, as I mentioned above over here. Right, all will be available in all the sprints. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6, this will be available in all the steps. Let me call in the first sprint, they will gather the information, okay, of sprint 1. They'll make the document, then the developer will design, the the DevOps guy or the cloud architecture will design the architecture only related to this, right? And afterwards, what they will do is that the QA testing guy will do only related to this only, not excluding the scope of the work. So whenever the steps will be written over here, and the, let's say we are going with the login page, right? Login page, we are working on the login page. Got it? So in the login page, the developers designed everything. They have basically reviewed the documents for the software. They have built this and they delivered to the DevOps guy, right? He will deploy this in the environment, dev environment, right? Environment. Just a second, somebody. Hi, Ajas. Okay. So when we are referring with the agile methodology, as I mentioned that, we are breaking the application with software development for application development into multiple stages. So after QA is done, right? So after QA is done, then he will give the QA guys, we will review the document, right? For the testing. Whatever the test cases has been written, let's say 10 cases has been written, right? For the software guy, QA guy for the quality assurance, then he will say that, sir, in the out of 10, we have passed 8 tests in this sprint, right? Sprint time we have given 1 month for this, 2 months for this, 5 months for this. Let's say our 6 month we are going to deliver the project, right? In this case, every associated responsible or the role person associated with the projects have different responsibility. In this case, developer will write the code related to only to the associated print one. Okay, the DevOps engineer will work only up to the print one. So whatever the responsibility he has associated with the sprint point, he will try to cover as soon as possible. So in this point, what you will get is that after eight out of 8, 10 out of 8 cases has been passed. So he will say that login is perfectly fine. If the forget is like forget part was did, the client is receiving the password, right? He cannot do multiple like 20 attempts in 1 minute. That is also blocking, sir. This test case is handled right in the sprint one. Okay, and we are able to view whatever the delivered by the dev team. So in the meeting, like stand-up meeting, the report will be generated and we'll be having a discussion. The stand-up, this all points will be put on the team in front of on front of all the team members. Like the team members will be there, QA guy will be there in the meeting as a daily stand-up routine, right? Manager will be there. Okay, development will be there. UI a guy will be there, right? Who will be designing the pages. He also will say QA UI design also fine or wrong. Okay, in the second sprint, what we have designed, let's say like payment gateway is designed for the application, right? If I'm going for any, let's say phone pay app, right? If you are building phone pay app for use our scenario, first login, right? Whenever you are creating application, first login will be handled. After that, we'll say, sir, just handle the payments in the second two, right? So the development will work on this. And let's say for the two, the document say that he has 10 more tasks to complete, right? Development team. So this two will be added as a backlog. Okay. So there is no such issue that the time will be extended. Okay, so they have to fix this 10, they have to develop this 2, and they have to fix this 2 also, 10 plus 2, and they have to go for sprint pay. This is how they came with the agile methodology. In this, there is no lagging, there is no issue with the time. Okay, they are bound with the time, whatever the time has been given. All the DevOps engineer, the development team, the QA team, the UI team, okay, marketing, if they are associated with this, they are also will be part of this. If in any case of development, okay, so they have to fix this within the time using Jira. Okay, Jira means Jira is a is a project management tool. With that, all the tickets will be created by your admin, right? Admin or the manager or technical manager, who or line manager, right? He will create the Jira tickets. Tickets will be issued to you, right? Different team members, and they will either say done, right, or they will move to the ticket into QA part, right? After completion of everything, it will be said that done part is completed, right? If you have any issues with the ticket dependency issues, let's say as a development, as a DevOps engineer, we're taking the code and deploying it, but it's failing in the deployment stage, that will be revert back to the development team. Okay, development will handle it. Development and developers. Okay, developer will say, okay, fine, I'll be fixing, okay, everything. Now, how this everything will be happening, right? In the point of that, let's discuss this point. Okay, hope this point is clear to you. You got point. What is agile methodology? What is waterfall methodology? In the current scenario, everyone is going with that agile methodology. Do you have any questions over here? Yeah, this is depend on the different on your software, huh? Usually in the companies it will be 1 month to 3 months. Let's say we are making a big application, right? And let's say we are going for any gaming development, right, it will take more time. But it is not our requirement. This is a headache of the manager. Okay, he will design with the development team, taking consideration. They will take all the team members. Then they will decide what will be the defined point of sprint one. Okay, in our case, just for the example, I have given 1 month. Usually, it will be 2 to 3 months. Okay, for the sprint one. Usually, the standard way is 2 to 3 months. Okay, in some organization, if the project is very small, it will be 1 month. After 1 month, the sprint will automatically from the Jira. Jira supports agile methodology. Huh? They will fix the time like 1 month for this sprint one. Automatically after 1 month, that will be moved as completed. Okay, whatever the tickets were issued for sprint one, that automatically will be moved to sprint two. Don't worry about that. We will have a one demo class in the Jira, which I will be explaining in the later stage. Okay, don't worry about that. In that, how you're going to define the sprint also will be covered. Okay. So always, if you say that we have completed 20 days, 10 days remaining. So on that portal itself, Jira, they will be integrated that only 1 week is available, is pending. Please complete your tickets. An email will be received to all the issue ticket who are responsible for the tickets also. No? This is how the software, this project management tool is handling. So this solve a lot of headache. Huh? Manual intervention is gone. So when you find your ticket is 10, for example, right? So you will receive a call from your manager or the responsible of Jira admins to provide you the feedback why you are lagging behind. Okay, this is how day-to-day activities going on. You hope your question is answered. Okay, so yeah, yep, I'll tell you. Okay, in the sprint one way, as designed, they will be developing only login page of PhonePe. Okay, login page of PhonePe. So who are associated with this? Development guy. Developers will write the code, right? So DevOps team also will require, because we are doing automation, right? We require to do automation for this. So we may integrate multiple tools, right? So multiple tools in the sense we will be using Jenkins for this part, right? So every day 10 developers is there. They may push 10 times in a day, right? 10 times in 10 means 100 times the code will be deployment, right? The manually it cannot be handled. Okay. So that's why the DevOps engineer introduced in this in IT industry. Okay. This part I will cover just for the 5 minutes. Okay. But in every sprint, all the team members will be working. For your answer, the development team will be working, QA team will be working. If a DevOps engineer will be working, okay. If there is a cloud engineer is there, the cloud engineer also will working respect to you. And then there'll be involvement of any UI fix, right? Let's say they have specific in the development team, they have designed one logo, right? That logo is very bad, right? It's not applying in the login page. As a client, you have login, right? And you found that this logo is not worth it. Okay, the QA guy is not worth it. So that will be UI guy will fix. No? UI guy will fix in his design, take approval from the manager or the client, and they will revert back again. So in the all the sprints, all the stages, all the team will be working. Let's say as a DevOps engineer, I have 10 tasks in my sprint one, right? So I have completed 8 tasks. 2 tasks is pending. Okay, I have valid answers. I can say that. So this was the issue based of the DevOps team. There was a lot of issues, right? The code was failing. So he will say, okay, fine, no issue. I agree with your points. So what you have to do it automatically after the sprint is completed of the Jira, the 2 tickets will be added over here automatically by the Jira. Okay, just by the software. Don't worry about that. So in the second sprint, I have 10 tasks, right? Then these 2 tasks. So I have to complete these 12 tasks in the sprint. Okay. Got my point? The same with all the team members. This will be the point of discussion. Okay. So as I mentioned that, okay. So now, why DevOps was there and why DevOps are paying very heavily, right, compared to developers or any UI guys and everything. So if I ask you who will be in the development team, right, so it will be easy for you guys also to understand. The first team, they will be developers, right? They will be developers, right? After that, there will be a QA team, right? QA team or QA, let's say QA engineer, right? Then there'll be one DevOps engineer or multiple DevOps engineer based on the need of the software, right? How is your project? Okay. Then you have one UI, right? UI design. Okay. This four you everywhere you will find. This is a standard way. Without that, you will not be completing one development team. Huh? This will be your one project team. Okay. So this project team will be there. Okay. Depend on how many members will be there based on your project and the organization. It can be 5 to 50. Okay. If your project is big, right? If the project is big, then be members over here, right? Over here in the same QA also based on the team, they can be like 2 to 10, right? Team members. Okay. In the DevOps also is the same. You will be having 1 to 3 members, right? The team members. In this, the hierarchy will be different. Like say, there'll be senior DevOps engineer, right? Senior DevOps engineer, junior DevOps engineer. Okay. And you will be having DevOps consultant on the head, right? Who will be looking all your hierarchy, right? DevOps consultant who will be designing and providing solutions for this. Okay. So most of the case, what we are going, there will be multiple members in the every team. UI also maybe they will have 1 to 5 members who will be working completely on the design of our application, how it's going to look, how it will enhance your quality of your application. Let's say to reference to color, the images and everything, right? For example, if I say I'm adding one ASIM image to my application, right? Let's say somebody added my image to their application. Do I will accept that? No, I will not accept it. End of the day, what I will do, I will sue that company, right? So I will say that this is my image, how you can use it reference in your application, right? Let's say they have said that I have some XYZ health issue. So came one health company, let's say any company health organization. Now there is multiple, right? They are Medex, all the companies, right? They are doing online consulting. They publish with the poster of my image, right? So end of the day, what I'm going to do it, I will sue them, right? I will say that yes, how did you use my image, right? In this case, UI guys is responsible. They will get that image from any. They will create or they'll get the image which cannot be sued by the company. Okay, so that is not exist in the real time. If this exists also, they will take the permission with the owner of that images. Okay, is part of them also. Okay, this is the way you will find that there is no real time image has been used. Huh? This is a huge fine. Sir. Don't ignore this point. These points are very huge. If you misprinted, you may have noticed, right? In the government also, in the holders, they'll use somebody images. Huh? And later on, they to be find that that person is very well being, is not pure or something else. So what they will do, they'll say that we are not associated with this any kind of program. Why you are using this image? So this kind of things happen all in the politics, right? If it is happening in the real time with the company, right? What you'll do, you'll think few high. So UI guy will be one part of that to fix all the images, design, and all aspects related to the product. Okay. So this all the parts. This is the every time these 4 members will be done. So now the DevOps engineer deleted a lot of roles in the market. Okay, what kind of roles? The first role was system engineer. Before DevOps was introduced, right? DevOps was introduced. There was a role system engineer. Okay, system engineer used to design, maintain infrastructure, right? Related to the application. Let's say what I've quoted that for example, now the developer is working for login page, right? Login page of the application. Okay. At the time, what happened? The system user used to design this infrastructure, what kind of CPU they required, and how the cloud environment will be there, right? See, VPC, in which VPC, in which zone. Let's say our client want the application in US, right? So we are going to deploy this US zone, right? Instead of India. So because the traffic will be from the US. So nearest to reduce the latency, the transfer of your application, daily availability and performance of your application depends where your application is hosted. Okay. Based on the use case, if it is for you have designed this for the US, then you have to use to host in US. If it's designed for India, you'll be hosting in India. When you're going for the global, let's say our application is global, right? So Facebook is global, right? So everywhere you'll find. So they will deploy your application. They will design their infrastructure, US, India, and all the regions. Okay. So this will be done. The build and release used to responsible only to deploy, take the code from the GitHub, right? Developer used to write the code in the GitHub, right? They will store the code. From there, they will take the code and they will build and they will deliver to the they will deploy to the environment right? This was the role. Then system admin used to monitor, right? If you say my application is 24 into 7 available, then you require the monitoring, right? How do you say? You to fix the issue, you require monitoring, right? At the time of current, in the time now in India, what is the time? To 43 a.m. So we can say that, only 20% of the population will be awake at this time, right? So we never know what happened at this time, right? So let's say something happened with our application at the time. So how do you going to check this at the time something happened? Some proof attack is done, some then hacker tried to get into your application, he made your application down. So by monitoring, using some monitoring tool, you're going to use, right? Let's say you have a Grafana, right? In the term of now currently trending, right? Grafana, AWS have CloudWatch, right? CloudWatch. Then we have Grafana is a Prometheus is there, right? This all the application now it's been introduced. Okay, operation engineers used to check all the things, right? All the things related to this and ensure that all the availability will be there. The system admin used to do provide like user management, right? Let's say we have a Jenkins, right? Let me add it over here. So let me just we have created Jenkins we have deployed on the Jenkins server, right? So now you'll say that, okay, Basit, let's say you say that, sir, I want the access also, right? Because you're working in the Jenkins also. At that time, I cannot give the root access, right? The super admin access, I cannot give to him because he can do anything, right? He can create your own user. And then what we will do, we will create a user account, right? User account and provide it to Basit, right? So he's have limited your permissions, right? Different permissions, right? He will be having different permission role associated with this. Okay, thus this part to be taken care of by server admin. Okay, server admin. It can be multiple use case. Yeah, I'm saying reference to Jenkins. It can be Prometheus, Grafana. Okay, it can be any another tool also, right? Let's say if you're going with let's say with any other. If I go to the example, let's say Jira, right? Jira also. The Jira also they'll be having tickets, right? So you will be creating user management, right? So for one example, if I say, okay, if the Jira is not part of DevOps, but for to make you example, just I'm saying user management of Jira. Okay, let's say SonarQube. This is our right. SonarQube is responsible. Here, the admin will make all the create. So this all the roles were killed currently. This all was merged into DevOps engineer. So now DevOps engineer responsible for what? To make the system admin, right? System engineer, build and release, right? Server admin and operation admin. Okay. DevOps team will be working for all these things. Okay. And what the solution they found is the automation. So now manually it's not unable to do to handle all these roles, right? So what we have introduced that we are fixing CI/CD Jenkins, right, for the continuous integration, continuous deployment. Then we are going with the SonarQube, right? SonarQube, right, for the automation. Okay, user management will be created uh, u- so, user manually or by script, mostly with the script. Okay, we will be writing script to create the users. Okay, let's say you'll come and say as a manager, right? Let's say you're a manager and you'll come and ask him, can you make me this user 5 users, right? 5 users in SonarCube or 5 users in Linux operating system, right? Linux operating system we require 5 users. Okay, at that time it will take time for me to create one user. Let's say 30 minutes, right? One user to create it 30 minutes. So 10 into 10, how much? 3 hours I'll be wasting, right? And this is a day-to-day activity, right? So what I'll do it, what I will do it, I will get it 3 hours. So I will write small script, right? So in that I will specify everything. Okay. So prompt you. So I will run that script and I will create one user in only 3 minutes. Okay. That we will cover. Don't worry about that. How you make it. So how? Let's say 3 minutes, right? Sorry, 33. I have mentioned 10 minutes, right? 10 user into 10 minutes. Let's say 110 minutes. 30 minutes into 10, 3 hours, right? Here, 3 minutes. Okay, in 30 minutes, we are fixing it, right? By using any shell script. It can be Python shell script or the bash script, right? Using the bash scripts. So this everything we are doing with the automation. So this enhanced our knowledge, right? So we are providing solution to the development for the IT organization or your product or the product like software development, right? So what we are doing, we are providing the quality by making everything integration of DevOps, and we are making a fully rapid response to the fully need of the client. The client in the sense we are providing the low time, right? End of the day, all the clients require the time, right? So they want the product as soon as possible. And it will increase the collaboration. As I say, in any case, our product is failing, right? We will receive developer will receive immediate email, right? Email notification, and in the meetings also, right? Stand-up meeting, we will alert them, this is failing, right? Please fix this bugs, okay? Error is known as bugs in the IT team, okay? In the stand-up meetings, we will inform them this is the issue, okay? So in the Sonar Cube, we will monitor everything, right? What are the resource has been used and what's the quality of your code, right? Code quality. So this is very important, and when you'll get to know these tools, you'll be very, 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 passionate about this. How we found the solutions for all the problems in the software. Huh? So if say for example, let's say for anything, I'm acting like Kram is acting like a developer. Okay, Kram acting as a developer, right? So he's working on this our product which we are working, right? So at the time, what will happen? He does some of the mischief thing, or by knowingly or by intentionally. Okay, it can be anything, but knowingly or unintentionally, right? I will say that unintentionally. Okay, what he did, he write the code for someone login page, right? By mistake, what he does, he pushed our credentials into it. Credential in the sense, let's say I have given some S3 bucket, right? Bucket is a storage in database. I have given him as a DevOps engineer, as a given Vikram the credentials, okay? So credentials to store whatever he required, right? To store the images, right? Uh, Images of the client login page. Login, if you log in into profile, if you go into the profile, the phone pay, you'll be able to see that there is a one picture of us, right? So that picture, we that a developer is storing in S3 bucket. This Raki, as a DevOps engineer, we are making, right? We are saying that please store this in the S3 bucket. So what he did, by intentionally, he added all the access key, right? Access key of this S3 bucket, which was secured. It was not recommended to add any in the code level, okay? He, by intentionally, what he did, he said that he writes some one line code and said that whatever the image you receive from the client, please take and store in this S3 bucket, okay? Which is private, because we want to secure it, right? Private, which is private bucket. So this was added in the code, okay? So how do we know? We never know, right? As a DevOps engineer, how we can go into that code, right? They have thousands of codes in for one page or one login or software, right? So when they have a 10K lines, do we able to go and check it over there? Or do we have the knowledge of checking there? Because we are not development side, right? As a DevOps engineer, we don't have the knowledge of the software, right? Let's say, for example, they are getting the application in Node.js, right? So they don't have the knowledge, like DevOps don't have they have only basic knowledge, but they don't have complete knowledge. How we can go and check manually with this? So we find the solution with a Sonar Cube. So this Sonar Cube will go inside your all the code whenever the build is done. Let's say the developer has done the code, right? Now the code has pushed, right, for the login page. Immediately when he pushed the code in the GitHub, right? GitHub is a central repository, GitHub, right? From there, the Jenkins will pull, then the Jenkins will pull, right? It will push to the GitHub, okay? It will push to the Jenkins, right? It will fetch the Jenkins, then it will go for the steps what we are defined. Then the same code will go to the Sonar Cube. Sonar Cube will scan. It will do the postmortem of all the code available in the GitHub for this one, right? For this build, and it will provide you the email alerts also. Whenever we found this code, whatever the key which I've given to this Akram guy, and he will say he has added the code. So suddenly we will receive the emails. Manager will receive, DevOps guy will receive, the developer will be receiving, or developer technical manager will receive mail. So this is a vulnerability. This is a serious vulnerability. You have added some security access keys, right, into your code. You will receive a mail, right? This integration, everything will be done by DevOps. So what we will do, we will create one ticket. Immediately, we will create one ticket in the Jira. We will assign this ticket to the developer, right, who is associated with this. That hierarchy will be received from your IT team, right, IT manager. We will add the ticket created by me as a DevOps engineer to Akram, okay, and I will add this ticket as a urgent, okay. There is a stages which you have to add, okay, important, urgent, or immediate. You have to fix this time. So this ticket will become, they will review with the complete report of Jira management also. As I said that you will create the user management for Sonar Cube also, okay. They will fix and they will send again the code, and this time the Sonar Cube should pass this, okay. Afterwards only they will go for the deployment, okay. These are the stages which we are going to cover, okay. This sound interesting, right? Yeah, sure. So this all four roles been covered by now by the DevOps engineer. So DevOps engineer is going to create your infrastructure also. VPC, if there is no cloud engineer based on the automation. If you're working with any startup company, right, you have to do all the rules, man. There is no exception. Okay, because they are limited with the budget, but they will give you 2x amount. Don't worry about that. Okay, because you are working as a cloud, right? You are handling cloud infra and DevOps, right? At the time you'll be. If you're going for the any big MNC company, you'll be associated only with the DevOps. one particular, they may assign you one tool, okay, which or collaboration, multiple tools based on your company roles what we are defined. Okay, before that they will give you knowledge transfer. Don't worry about this, that how we will get to know. They will use definite time, right? No knowledge transfer, which is known as KT. Okay, in the IT industry, they will give you 1 month 1 month knowledge transfer of their application. Okay, they will explain what is the application and what you're going to build and how you're going to make it. What is the SRS document of this? What is the software document? What is your cloud infrastructure document? Where is hosted? And what before your, if there is some engineer, right, was working, he left that, so he will provide all the information. By the knowledge transfer, that you have to look over there, and this is a reference document. Okay, every document will be available with you. You have to check and you have to take over that. Okay, this is the usual concept of DevOps engineer into the IT industry. Okay, so if I go over here, so hope you're in this, everything is right. So when you say what is DevOps, it's a simple, it's the IT culture and the collaboration that improves the quality and the product of product, right? Quality of your application. Let me add application only of your application. Okay. So simply, it's a collaboration team and a culture that improves the quality and the delivery of application. How we are going to achieve this thing is by making the quality, we enhance the quality, rapid response to the client needs, right? And the increased collaboration of the different team. Okay, cost optimization. As I say, cost optimization, I have mentioned over there, right? Time to marketing for promotion. Okay, so this will provide a team for the marketing also. Why? Because the thing is that when we deliver the product to them, they have to do the marketing also, right? End of the day, they have to sell this application to XYZ clients. Okay, so this is how the DevOps engineer was introduced to the market, and we will be working associated with this development team. Okay, so it's like bound of them. Okay, so if you go for the DevOps lifecycle manager, can help you like overall. So what we are doing, end of the day, as I mentioned, that we are making fast application development. Okay, whenever the code is pushed, that will be reviewed by Sonar Cube, right? That will be built by Maven. This is a build tool which will be covering up, okay, Maven for the Java. Okay, if you're working on Java, then the test cases, whatever the test cases has been written by the developer, the test cases will be handled by Sonar Cube. Okay, Sonar Cube, then it will be delivered. If it is failing, then it will come back again, then planning in the sprint, same sprint, then it will go for the second sprint, right? If the sprint is completed, then again the cycle will be crossed. In this case, there's DevOps engineers is responsible for what? Release, right? I just say CI/CD. This is a part of CI/CD. Deploy, they have different, right? CI/CD, right? CI/CD for the CI continuous integration, development for the continuous deployment, right? Deploy and operate in the sense monitoring, Grafana or the CloudWatch we are using, right? Grafana operates and managing. Here also we can give Prometheus or CloudWatch. Okay, continuous monitoring and operations. Okay, this part is there. What end of the day will be achieved by the DevOps? Either delivery high quality applications to the market faster, quickly find and resolve the quality, whatever the issues immediately. The developer will receive the mail by the automation, right? We're using CI/CD tool. As I'm saying, the Jenkins will be the part of that. Okay, and a collaboration more effectively across your development, because the bond will be very high. You'll be working with the developer parallelly, you're the QA team and all the teams. So this will enhance our quality of our application, and everyone will be known, right? Because end of the day, right, if I have my friends and if I have unknown guys, who will be, I'll be chatting with my friends, right? So the same issue was happening before this DevOps was introduced, right? The HL methodology, development team was different, operation team was different. Okay, we have the team guys, they were blaming this operations guy. Operation teams was blaming development team. Okay, then we got one guy that is called as DevOps engineer. Okay, he said that okay, no issue, we will fix everything. So what he said, that you have some code and you are blaming this operation guy, no issue. I will take one automation tool and I will test it. I will let you know this is working or no. So I will take Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins is done. Talk that that will be done. If it is failed, then you will receive one email suddenly. Now he cannot blame operation, right? It's failing in the building, like build stage is failing, so that is associated with development, right? If it is failing in any deployment stage, then it's say okay, now the build is passed, then the deployment is failed, right? Deployment in the sense the resources of our EC2 instance VM is not up to mark to handle this application, right? So let's say if my laptop is not enough, so you cannot install the application on this, right? The memory will be consumed. So this is facing with the operations guy, right? Let's say infra guy. So the email will be gone to the manager saying that resources is consumed. So this is not associated with development team. The development team will say, sir, this the build is successful. Everything successful. Resource is filling with infrastructure resources. At the time, DevOps engineer, the cloud engineers will go and we will increase the resources vertically. Okay, vertical in the sense instead of 4 GB RAM, for example, we will make it 60 GB RAM, because we require heavy application now. Okay, 60 GB. If the storage is filling, we will increase the storage from 10 GB If, for example, right, if you have 10 GB, we'll make it 50 GB, 20 GB based on requirement of our application. Okay, this is how complete automation is gone by DevOps engineer. Okay, this is why DevOps engineer received 2x, 3x compared to the developer. Okay, if you have knowledge of software, then it's very very effective for you to work as a DevOps engineer. If you don't have, no issue, we will cover that part also, the basic of programming language also. Okay, so just to have the overview what how different the structure will be in Java language, right? How you can find water dependency, right? Node.js is JavaScript, right? It can be anything, React Vue, okay? It can be Next, right? Next, all comes in JavaScript. Then we will cover one Python, right? The basic structure, and then Go language. These are the basic four programming language which is trending now. If you go for Netflix, that is based on Node.js, okay? So mostly the government sector, they are working with the Java, okay? If you go for any Aadhaar portal or any portal, they are working with the Java, even the core Java, JavaScript, okay? This I will be covering, don't worry about that. The basic, how you can see the structure, how you can create a container, how you can deploy. Hope this session, right? So now, if you have anything in the 5 minutes, you can ask, so I can clarify you everything. From tomorrow, let's go with this also. Let me add one point, then I'll take your answers. Okay. See, the development, as I say that the code will be in the GitHub, right? Right. This is done by who? The developers, right? Do you agree with me? Right. After that, what we will do it as a DevOps engineer, we will create a CI/CD pipeline, deployment, and everything. For that, what we required? We required virtual machines, right? VM virtual machine. Virtual machine. Virtual machine is a machine, right, which is, let's say, is hosting some remotely, okay? So in this case, you require a cloud. We will go with the AWS, okay? And then before that, okay, after that, we required to have Linux knowledge, okay? After that, DevOps tools. These four steps which we'll be following, okay? First, as I mentioned, that developer will push the git into GitHub, right? Code into GitHub. So what we required, we have to create a CI/CD pipeline or anything, right? If I want to install any like SonarQube or Maven or Node.js, we require a virtual machine, right? In this case, we require a virtual machine. So what is our dependency? First, to have the knowledge of AWS, okay? So why AWS we are going to use now? The point is that why we are covering AWS. If you check in the market, right, currently, which is trending over here, right? If you check the market scope, if you check in the any job portal, you'll find majority of that is AWS, right? AWS posting. So because this is first introduced, right, and it was highly adopted, highly scalable, high availability, they have like 100 regions, right? 100 availability zones, more than 100 availability zones. If in India only they have multiple, right? Mumbai is one their zone. Even Hyderabad was introduced recently. Okay, for limited access. In the US, they have 7 or 8 zones. Okay, and the scope and the everything for the AWS very huge. And you have a lot of job openings related to AWS compared to Azure. Okay, so Azure, if you're going for any Azure or GCP, these are the major market players. Okay, GCP is from the Google. AWS is for the Azure. Okay, so we are going with AWS. The reason for that is this is the high availability, and you have let's say community support. Okay, if you go for anywhere such like AWS issues, you'll find the community support for AWS very good, and you have very like support from there also very good, right? AWS supports you also instead related to any issues you are facing, right? The infrastructure. So this is the reason we are going with AWS. AWS added multiple options to them, right? They have infrastructure, the patterns, right? They have PaaS. These are the models which we will discuss. Don't worry, right? PaaS software. Okay, they are providing the service with these three protocols, right? They are giving infrastructure, take infrastructure and deploy your application. Take platform and do whatever you want. Take software, complete it from there. Okay, so we are going with AWS. Okay, so in this case, as I say that we have to go with the first step is that AWS. Then we will go for the knowledge. If without Linux, you cannot install any DevOps tools. You cannot integrate any DevOps tools. You cannot deployment anything, right? You cannot do anything without knowledge, hands-on knowledge of Linux, right? Linux OS. Okay. So from the tomorrow, we will start first with the AWS. Okay. I will cover all the aspects of AWS related to DevOps. Okay. And we will add some of the enhancement also. Don't worry about that. Okay, topics which we are going to add, for example, how to create. I have already shared the document. Create EC2 security group. Okay, then afterwards, how you can restrict that security group ports secure, right? How you're going to access that EC2 instance from your watch laptop, right? That is your VM, right? It's a machine, your laptop. SSH. Then we will go over the VPC, right? Then we'll go with the storage, EBS blocks, how you're going to attach this, the keys, how you're going to store, how you're going to save, okay? Then we will how you're designing your complete infrastructure for your application, right? This is a very important topics also, which I'll be covering. Without this, you'll not be any DevOps engineer, right? You should have the VPC knowledge of completely. So networking, right? How you're going to restrict, okay? CLI, how you're going to access this, okay? Then UFW, one more firewall, okay? Deployments, okay? These parts we will be covering all related to that. So that part I will show you, okay? From tomorrow we will start the AWS sessions, okay? So if you have any doubt related to today's session or the yesterday, day before yesterday's session, day one, day two, you can ask anything. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. I'll be explaining with Bishil. Python, I can add it 1 hour session. That's it. Python related to DevOps. That only we are going to cover. Not complete Python software development. We will cover the Python. I have one more session, like 1 hour, and we will try to explain you how you can using the Python. You can write this. Okay, but mainly we'll be focusing on the shell script. The reason, see, I'll tell you the reason. Okay, the organization doesn't require that you are using Python and making the automation. Based on the organization, the end of the day require the automation. That's it. Okay, so you can say that you can go with the shell. You can say that we'll be using bash scripting. Okay, to complete this, but we can add and enhance as the Python. Okay, we will have one session Python. Using the Python, how you are going to cover this automation also. Okay. For Linux, completely with the Linux with the bash scripting. Bash scripting, you can take it like only for 2 sessions we can cover up. Okay, how you're going to write, what's the hierarchy, like Shiban, how you're going to use. Okay, what you are to, how you're going to provide executable permissions to that, how you can limit, and how you can use in the Jenkins CI/CD also if you're going to use the shell script using Jenkins. Okay, this part we are going to cover. 2 session will be there for that. Yes, yes, yes. We will cover with this like user management. Okay, so what we can cover with that, I'll show you that. Completely we will tell you. First I will show you that user management. Okay, with this with this, how you can create the user on the Linux, right? Linux, how you can create Linux user and password Linux, okay, with the permissions. Okay, this part we can cover. Then backup script we can make clear, right? How you can write backup script, right? Like in the sense, let's have a database like Postgres, right? So I want to make sure that this database has to be backup in the format like in the gzip format, right? So this automation I will be showing you. If you have a Jenkins also, right? In the sense Jenkins, how you're going to back up the Jenkins completely and use this script. Okay, was with the script you have done the backup, right? How you can restore also. This point also we'll be covering up. User management is there, permissions is there, right? Permissions, how you're going to give it permissions expect. Then we can add it, let's say deployment, right? Deployment, say that you want to copy something to the remote server, right? Report server. So that also will be covering that with the shell script, right? So this all parts will be covered up. Don't worry about that. We have a complete document for that. We will do that completely. Okay. So whatever the points will be, I think I already added over this. Let me just check it out. I'll show you. No issue. I will update this document. Okay. I'll be sharing with you, including this one. Okay. As I mentioned that we will be covering file directory permissions with this all thing. Instead of going manually and doing everything, we will do automation using scripts. Okay. Anything else? Basi, anything else, guys? Yeah. Yeah, you are audible. Yeah. Yes, Linux. Oh, complete cloud will be different, like different. You have to join separately, but I'm not handling that. This AWS will be related to only to DevOps scopes. Okay. So what we are going to cover, as I mentioned, that how you're going to create VM, how you're going to manage VM, the keys, different type of AM. But you will get the overview. Don't worry about that. How it's going to, creation of VPC, how you can convert it. Okay. How you can make it secure. That part we'll be covering. Like let's say AWS course has 100%. Like we will try to cover it minimum 30 to 50% of the course itself. Okay, and we can have a add on also later on if I feel something, or with the introduction we can add special out of the syllabus, one session or two session to cover that aspect also. Okay. Okay, guys, anything? So let's wrap up this session because we are exceeding 10 minutes also. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow. If you